It's Monday and we have to make sense of it. I'm fully aware that my hair needs to be done. Okay, stay focused on the context of the video. We're waiting for products in the mail from the TikTok shop, okay? Being that this is the last Monday of the year, I had to make sure we saw it out with a Make It Make Sense Monday, right? Okay, 2025, because 2026, the schedule is already put together, y'all, for the Make It Make Sense Mondays. I'm back in full effect now that I'm housed. And today, what we making sense of, that saying of, watch out for her. Be careful around him. Triangulation at its finest. Triangulation is when you have two or more people who have a conflict between the two of them. And instead of addressing the conflict between them, they pull a third person into the situation, either to pick sides, to carry the emotional weight of everything, or in some cases, to enforce control. Now, it sounds like care initially. It sounds like I'm out of concern. However, you can tell that it's triangulation whenever the persons involved are talking heavily about the situation, but none of the conversation is evolved around addressing the other person, but has action steps to create isolation and distance, or in some cases, take control. That is triangulation because they're dealing with the situation from a third party instead of directly with the person that they have an issue with. An example in my life would be that the issue that my mom had with my cousin. She's asking me, why don't I know my cousin talks to her anymore? If you want to know why my cousin don't talk to you anymore, go ask my cousin. That's how I eliminate triangulation. It also looks like when parents pin siblings against each other, and now you got siblings fighting because of the conflict between a mother and another child. It is also when a grandparent is praising one grandchild and then shaming another one behind closed doors. That is triangulation. You are the head of the household, and if you're going to shame a child, that sets a tone. Not only that, it makes the other children deal with that child differently. That is triangulation. If you have an issue with how that child behaves, then go over and directly address that child, that parent, that family unit. But talking behind the child's back in front of other children is triangulation. The impact that this has is catastrophic, especially in the Black community. And I understand this happens in other communities. And any of this aligns for you and you don't consider yourself in the Black community, please take this back to your community, back to your family, and address it because it's a human error. I'm speaking directly to my community because it happens in my family on both sides and directly in my face and others that look like me. And they don't understand the impact of this on the psyche, not only on the ones that are being pulled into something they don't need to be pulled into, but everybody that gets affected by watching, and not to even mention the ones that are involved. It teaches you early in life, don't speak up, because if you do, you're going to be the problem. It confuses loyalty with silence, and the worst part, it makes you question your memories because nobody will outwardly validate them for you. And then it stops you from healing out loud because you can't tell your truth. How can you heal from something that you're not allowed to name? In order for you to heal from it, like how my family wants me to just get over it, I have to name it in a public space. And because I'm going no contact with them, I've decided to pick my public space to be TikTok, social media, and I'm naming it and hoping I can give this definition so that others can name it when they see it in their life and then be able to heal from it because it is evident throughout our community. The biggest issue about this triangulation is that in my experience, when I try to be direct with those that caused harm towards me or did talking behind my back, when I was ready to call them out in front of everyone, my family would be like, oh, she did her best. When I'm talking about my mother or my grandmother, don't talk to her like that. She doesn't deserve that kind of disrespect. But they also did not advocate for me when I was being disrespected. We have to understand that respect is beyond seniority. You no longer get respect because you're a senior. You get respect because you are being respectful. I don't give a fuck how old you are. You can be 97 years old on your deathbed. If you're being disrespectful, then you're going to experience disrespect from me. Unless we are identifying that this is some type of delusion state that you're in. And even then, I worked with the mentally ill. It ain't a whole lot of them that I didn't put. I don't think I ever dropped my accountability or my respect level with them. I don't care if you are in psychosis, and if you're that deep into psychosis, we need to sedate you, because now you're a danger to yourself and others. So me being able to voice my concern about how this person treated me should never have been met with "don't talk to her like that," if it wasn't going to also be followed up with what she did wrong to me. So when someone comes and approaches you and says, "Hey, you should watch out for them," you really should be watching out for the person telling you to watch out for the other ones. I often did that. So somebody leaned in and said, "You need to watch out for so and so." I'd be like, "Thank you." But I'm also looking at them like, now I'm watching both of you. Healing is not disrespectful, and accountability is not betrayal.